praises. All right, hey, shalom, shalom. I'm gonna get started just 1 second. Shalom, shalom. All right, back on the highway in Hedges. I'm gonna face the east. I'm gonna give all praises and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rahah, Hodash. Honor speed to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth in sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hope for elect on the highway in Hedges, making your body a living sacrifice according to Romans 12 and verse 1, which is your reasonable service. And also shalom to you sincere believers as well, which consists of men and women. Shalom, brakatham, and as always, a Baba Bomb. All right, I'm your brother Zakar Aban, like I said, back on the highway in Hedges to prophesy the downfall of America, all right, which is also known as Babylon the Great, Nineveh, Syria, Egypt, which pretty much represents what? The place of bondage for you so-called Negroes and the Native Americans and Hispanics, which make up the 12 tribes. And those are not your names, being called a Negro, being called a Hispanic, or being called Native American. Those are proverbs and bywords, all right, which are names to ridicule and to mock you. So shalom to the brother, hey, shalom to the brother, Ra'ab Khan, shalom Malak, a brakatham to you and your household, shalom, shalom. You know, so pretty much for today, you know, pretty much, you know, watching some videos, watching some brothers going to different topics, which was all beautiful. And also something that caught my eye, something that inspired me through the spirit was the brother Yeshaya. You know, his channel is Yahweh the Righteous. He pretty much going into how you got certain Jakes that may have been the truth for a little minute. And he gave some examples like the guys over there in Genesis now not teaching the correct names. And for many, many years, they was pushing those names, like Deacon Hakah, whatever he call himself now. So that got me to thinking. So we're going to start at the book, Revelation, start Revelation chapter 3, verse 1, right? And now the righteous be edifying. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to get there, Revelation 3 and verse 1. Bear with me 1 second. See, I'm better in NLT as well. Yep. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 1. This is all red letters, so this is how I was speaking. And it reads, and unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things said he that had the 7 spirits of out of one Yahweh. And when the 7 spirit goes into what? The 7 churches, which is 7 goes into what? Completion. We read Revelation 1 and 4, right? And it says 7 spirits of out of one Yahweh and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. And read again, I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. Because you that want, because Proverbs 21 and 16, he that wander out the way of righteousness remain in the congregation of the dead. So once you gain this understanding, you are pretty much likened unto a walking zombie that you hear, you know, brothers say from time to time. Okay, because a lot of people that's you know, walking by are pretty much dead. They pretty much are what? Asleep. So blessed are you if you can see. Okay, because all this real quick, not get off topic, but all this nastiness that's been exposed, you know, by Epstein list, you know, the men on the highway in Hedges street teaching, right, have always told you about the profane and nastiness of the so-called white man. But now it's more beautiful now because now it's greatly being exposed because we are in those times. Shalom to the brother, y'all. What's the Zah? Shalom Malak, brakatham to you and your household. Read this again. Read verse 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain. And strengthen things which remain is pretty much keeping the faith. Right? Holding on to your faith, as it says, fight the good fight of faith. In the book of 1 Timothy 6 and verse 12. So we want to continue to always fight the good fight of faith. It's a bad time to have doubt in your mind. Now, we got to understand that, yes, we are in the flesh, but that's why it said that what? Matthew 26, verse 41. You know, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So this is a continual fight. So let me grab this here. Give me 1 second. See where I want to start at. Give me 1 second. Woo. Should be, where's that at? Should be the book of, is it 34? So I'll go if I can't find it. I'm reading from the brother though. No, 2 Timothy. I'm grab that one. So like I was saying, fight the good fight of faith. So this is the book of 2 Timothy 4. Right? It's a lot here. Yep. I don't want that one. So I'll grab this one. 1 Timothy 6 and verse 12. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. So like I was saying, we want to continue to fight the good fight of faith. All right, always striving, always seeking Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai. Because like I was saying, especially in these times where the great exposing is happening, with all the nastiness. All right, so we want to continue to put off the old man. I'll grab it just a second in the book of 2 Hedges, chapter 14. All right, and shalom to the sis, Rebecca Ophir, shalom sis, Brakatham to you and your household. Shalom to the brother Micah Allah, strengthening truth. Shalom, Brakatham to you and your household. I'm gonna grab this from the brother Yowitazah. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? Ooh, beautiful. Hey, that's it right there. How are his hidden things sought up? And like I was saying, a lot of what's going on is being exposed. Okay, Luke 12 and verse 2. You know, those are some examples. Because now we are in a time of this man being put on blast. Because his time is almost up. His judgment is about to befall him. It started off, if you will, with the prophets, which you can use in this world, 144, call it Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai. The prophets can be likened to what being a lawyer, right? And Yahweh Yahweh Shai will be likened to what the judge. So the prophets is accusing and telling of all the madness that's taking place, right? So let me go back here to the book of Revelation. Let's pass by. Revelation 3 and verse 2. It says, be watchful and scrutin the things which remain, meaning what? Keep the faith, right? Always striving to please Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai. Beg for mercy, right? Beg for, strength, right? Beg that Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai allows for you to grow in fear. And that fear, you would say, Tazamak Yara'ah, which means what? Grow in fear. Yara'ah means in fear of Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai. That are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before Adawan Yahweh. It's ridiculous over there, man. It said they are ready to die. And what's ready to die? Meaning the way how this world and society is ran. 1 Corinthians 7:31. For the fashion of this world, pass it away. Right? Because this world is on a ticking clock, ready to be destroyed. All right, it's ready for the picking. It's ready for Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai to put his place out of his misery. Right? Because I don't know, because everyone should be miserable by now. Right? I don't care if you got a 401k. I don't care if you got $100,000 in your bank account. At the end of the day, you still are at the bottom, some way and somehow. Because anything could happen that could put you right back out there. Right? So we want to sprint the things which remain, which is keeping the faith and putting off that old man. Right? So let me read this one more time. They are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before Adawan Yahweh. And that perfect also go into what? That teleos, which means being mature in the faith. Right? Hebrews 5 verse 14. We want to be seasoned. We want to be all the way complete in Yahweh Yahweh Shai. So let me grab this, because this comes to mind. I quoted a few times about fighting a good fight. And also about the world being what? Ready to perish. The fashion, how this thing is ran, is ready to be what? Destroyed. And also shalom to the brother Yahawada. Shalom Malak Brakathum, you and your household. Shalom to the brother Mashak. Shalom Brakathum to you and your household. Shalom to all you Malakim. Shalom. So let me grab this in the book of 2nd Hedges, chapter 14. Right? Because it said that what? The things that's ready to die. So let me start here in the book of 2nd Hedges 14. Let's start at verse 20. And it says, 2nd Hedges 14 and verse 10, Salakia. For the world have lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. All right, in this world. Now you got 3 worlds in the scriptures. You got Okimene, which means the whole nations of people. Then you got Cosmos, which means the government, the nation of Israel. Isaiah 9 should be around 6 or 7. And then you got Eon or Ion, right? It depends how you want to say it, but that goes into an age. So right now we are in the age of the Edomites, all right? Primarily Amalek. Amalek is the first of the nations when you read in the book of Numbers 24:17 on down, which would be a little small hats. So it said, for the world have lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. Just going back to Revelation 3 and 2. All right, that it was saying that the things that is ready to die, meaning what? This place is ready for the picking. It's ready to be destroyed. For the world is divided to 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. Meaning what? During the time of Ezra, who is a high priest, Ezra had a mighty lot. He was a priest. He was a prophet. All right. He wrote the scrolls. I mean, not scrolls. He wrote the 5, the 5 books. Our laws, because it was burnt up. So he had a mighty portion. But it says, for the world is divided to 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and half a 10th part. All right, because then it was only 10,000 years. So now from that time, all right, to the time of Yahweh Shai had been what 2,000 years ago. And there remained that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. All right, and how do we comfort our people? Is by giving them this word, feeding them, right? Not carnal food, but ultimately, first and foremost, the word. How's it going? So let me grab this. They say that to what? Comfort. Bear me 1 second. Got a few. This is Proverbs 16 and verse 24. Because it said what? To comfort our people, right? Give them, real food, right? Which is the word. So this is Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are as in honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones, right? And that brings to mind Ezekiel 37, starting off from the first verse, where the Most High asked Ezekiel, can these dry bones live? Right? And Ezekiel said that what? Ezekiel told the Most High, right? Those dry bones represent us. For 350 years, we had no understanding. We was all in trouble. But now we do have hope. We are prisoners of hope, as it says in Zechariah 9 and 12. Right? Unlike these common people that walk by. Okay? That smile, that mock, that laugh, think shit is goofy. Esau, you going in slavery. All right? Punk ass, man. I can't stand Edomites, bro. I hate them. So Proverbs 16:24, pleasant words are as in honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. All right, because the Most High word is like what? Unto sweet and bitter. The bitter represent us going into slavery, captivity, so on and so on. But now we are into that next phase of this place being destroyed. I want one more. See if I can find it. If I can't find it, it's all good. Woo. Bear me 1 second. Last one. Was that Proverbs? Yep. Proverbs 4 and verse 19, verse 22 is the point. It says, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. They have no idea what's going on. And this place, trusting in this system, and the image of the beast, which goes into what trusting into, which want to be in part of a society, all right, bound the knee to the beast system, which ultimately is going to boil down to what? Taking that charagma, right? That imprint, that little grain of rice, you know, that chip. Okay, so a lot of this is nothing but snares and traps. So you have been warned. So what's going on? We are comforting them that are in trouble, right? If you continue to trust in this place, you are in big trouble. So it says, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. All right, hear what's going on. Because this message ultimately comes from Yahweh, where Yahweh Shai. So hear the words of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart, meaning what? Your mind. Meditate on it day and night. Really think about what's getting ready to happen. Okay? As I've been quoting, you know, for the past however long I've been on here, keep the, keep the faith. Fight the good fight of faith. It says, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. For they are life unto those that find them. Because like I was starting off with, if you are pretty much out of the way of understanding, then what, you are dead. So now we are alive. Now those dry bones are pretty much getting their flesh back upon them, which is beautiful. Okay, which represents what? The elect. 144,000 on to the 1/3. All right, so that's good there. Yep. So back to the book of 2nd Hedges 14. I want to finish up this point. And it says, 2nd Hedges 14 and 13, now therefore set down the house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. All right? Reprove it. Okay? Matter of fact, real quick. Give me 1 second. Say, reprove what? Corruption. As I was reading in the book of Revelation 3 and verse 2, the things that are ready to die. Where's that at? Give me 1 second. Wickedness. So I get this going. Yep. That should be it. Ephesians 5 verse 11, that's it. It says, start verse 10, proving what is acceptable unto the Yahweh, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them, but rather expose. So like I was saying, this is what's happening, the great exposing. And it started off with the prophets, which is likened unto, in this world, like a lawyer. It's ridiculous. All right? Pretty much, you know, telling about all the abominations and atrocities that's happening in Babylon the Great, aka America. So the great exposing is what's happening. So it says, Ephesians 5 and 11 NLT, take no part in the worthless deeds of evil and darkness. Because everything about this place, as I was reading, as I quoted in 1 Corinthians 7:31, everything about it is unfruitful. It's going to be a thing of naught. It's going to be found of this what happens when you live wickedly. The same way he did with Sodom and Gomorrah, a place of memorial, right? So when we think about Sodom and Gomorrah, which is a actual land, we're going to be, it's not that same stamp as this is what happens when you live wickedly, when you live contrary to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Take no part in the worthless deeds of evil and darkness. Instead, expose them. So this is what we should be doing. Exposing the unfruitful works. Exposing about the vanity of this place. About the madness. About the, about the democracies. About the religion. All right? About the alphabet people. So on and so on. Okay? We should not be holding back our sword, which is the Bible, which is the book. It says, "I be in trouble, and now it renounce corruption." As I just read in Ephesians 5:11, expose it, reprove it. 14 is the point. Shalom to the brother Yeshaya, Shalom Malak, Brakatham to you and your household, King. Shalom. A beautiful lesson too, brother, to the brother Yeshaya. I caught a little bit of it. It was beautiful. It says, 2nd Hedges 14, verse 14, "Let go from the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature." So let go from the mortal thoughts, right? This is, as I've been quoting, this is what you'll call a continual fight. Because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So let me grab this real quick. How's it going? John 9. No, Salaki. John 14. Think about something else. So it said that what? Put off the weak nature. Let go from the mortal thoughts. And put off that weak nature is the things that we have learned in Babylon the Great. Okay? We don't want to have a doubting mind. We don't want to have a mind of not having faith. Because the people of this world cannot see what's getting ready to happen. That's why in old time they would call you what? A seer. Meaning what? You can see the vision. You can see ahead of time. And a lot of people have not been gifted with that blessing. All right, so this is John 14 and verse 1. "Let not your heart be troubled," meaning what? Your mind. As it says in the 2nd Hedges 14 and 14, put off the weak nature. So put off the things, the madness, the doubting spirit, wondering about if you're doing the right thing. Be fully persuaded that the Most High is working with you. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Adonai Yahweh, believe also in me, right? So we supposed to have all the way faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We supposed to be in agreement. We all supposed to be one, being in the body of Yahweh Shai. And the Most High did not give us a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind, being stable. When the rest of the people are gonna lose their shit when all hell really breaks loose. Shalom to the brother Yahweh, Shalom Malak, Brakatham to you and your household, King. Shalom. John 14:27. "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth it, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." The Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, once again, did not give a doubting mind. We should not be afraid of the thing that's getting ready to happen. Especially what's going on with ICE. None of that is supposed to move us or makes us, have a shaky foundation. If anything, it's supposed to, give you more faith to go out there and push even harder, to make your calling and election sure. I'm letting this pass by, man. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna drill on the sidewalk. It's ridiculous, right? So let me grab this. This is 2 Timothy 1 and verse 7. Going to what? Woo. Let me start just a tad bit. Verse 6. Verse 7 is the point. "Wherefore I put thee in remembrance, that thou stir up the gift of Adonai Yahweh." And being put in remembrance, the Most High giving you that lot that you was once in. Right? When we go to the book of Daniel 12, where Yahweh, where the Most High Yahweh told Daniel, "Stand in thy lot at the last day." Same thing applies now. Romans 14 verse 5, "The things written aforetime is written for our learning." So if you're a prophet, then you will always come back and you're alive. Some way, somehow. You know, it may look grim, it may look gray, it may look like, yo, all hope is lost for you, but then the Most High is going to raise you up. That's why, you know, I was quoting Ezekiel 37 and verse 1 on down. Can those dry bones live? And Ezekiel told the Most High what? Yes, it can. I mean, thou knowest. Right? So let's read this again. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of Adonai Yahweh, which is in thee, by putting on of my hands. All right, and putting on of my hands, once again, it is being in the body of Yahweh Shai. Whatever lot, right, whatever lot you may be in, whatever position, it's the difference, man. All right, you're gonna make sure that what you are striving to please Yahweh by Shemal Shai, not having a doubt in mind. Verse 7. For Adonai Yahweh had not given us the spirit of fear. The Most High not giving you what the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. And that says a lot. If the Most High has engrafted that fear in you, I'm gonna keep saying it, that Yara'ah, okay? That Yara'ah means what? That fear and faith. Because a lot of people may say, oh, I love the Most High, but they're not showing it. Because you really was obedient and actually love Yahweh by Shemal Shai, you will be doing the thing that's pleasing to the Heavenly Father, making your body living sacrifice. For as it said, this is your reasonable service, right? And when you go to that word reasonable, it meaning what? Logic, right? It's a logical thing to actually try to fear Yahweh by Shemal Shai, to keep the words. We don't want to be, as it says, what's that? Hebrews 10, right? That it's a fearful thing fall to the hand of the Most High. Loosely paraphrasing. So let me read this again. For Adonai Yahweh have not given us the spirit of fear, but, how's it going? But of power and of love and of a sound mind. We are stable. We're not staggering, right? We're not wavering. We're not like the people of this world, drunk, right? Not drunk with literal wine, yayan, but they drunk with what? The ways of Babylon the Great, the ways of America. And they're going to find out what happens when you trust in this man. Shalom to Saints of Jersey. Shalom to the Malakim. Hey, Shalom, Brakatham to you and your household. Shalom. See him grab this. You can't see it. Grab it here. I got a few of mine as well. So bear with me 1 second. There should be Sirach. So Sirach is either 2 or 1. It's one of them. If I can't find it, it's all good. Where's that at? Where's that at? Yep. I'm gonna grab this real quick. Now I'll grab the brother's precepts. This is Sirach 1 and verse. Let's start. Woo. Let's start verse 8. I got to grab it. Sirach 1 and verse 8. There's one wise and greatly to be feared, the Adonai Yahweh sitting upon his throne. So as I was saying, we want to be in all the way fear of the Heavenly Father, right? There's no reason why we should be doubting, all right? Look at the works of the Heavenly Father of old. You know, people love to quote about Noah. Do you really understand what happened in the days of Noah? Noah was getting mocked, he was getting ridiculed, and also the Most High sent a great flood of water and killed mass people. Okay, same thing gonna apply now. Instead of water, you know, it be by the fire, you know, the nuclear missiles or whatnot. But still, the same thing gonna apply here. Grab a few more. See, skipping down, it says, verse 11: the fear of the Adonai Yahweh is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. And that crown of rejoicing, there's going to be a literal crown on your head, 2 Edges 2, but also a crown of salvation. James 1, 12 and 13. You have received that crown, right? This is why this is like into, you know, like a marathon or a race. We want to finish this course. You know, we don't want to be found doing the work and then, you know, turn back. As it says Ezekiel 18, 24. It said the fear of the Yahweh is honor, glory, gladness, and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Other One Yahweh make it a merry heart and give it joy and gladness in a long life. So what? We're going to be rejoicing. I don't rock this out. We be found those men, all right, into the sincere sisters as well. But if we fear Yahweh Shema Shah right now, doing the thing that's pleasing, for this our reasonable service, then ultimately we're going to be rejoicing while everybody else is running around. Like the old saying in the world, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. They don't know where to turn to. They don't know who to call on, right? They don't know what's going on because they didn't prepare themselves, right? They thought that, shit was a game. But, as Donald Trump, his little follower said, F-A-F-O. So you're going to fuck around and find out that the Most High is not to be played with. The Most High is a man of war. You best believe it. Whoso feared the Yahweh, it shall go well with him at the last. And you got to truly believe that. You got to believe that the Most High is working with you. Right? You truly got to believe that, that Most High, damn, let's pass by. But you truly got to believe that the Most High is keeping you with, with a sound mind. It's keeping you from worrying about the things of this world. So as I was reading, putting off that weak nature. Whoso fear the Other One Yahweh, it shall go well with him at the last. And he shall find favor in the day of his death. All right, so like I was saying, we come back in our lives, right? Regardless if people want to believe about reincarnation or not, you keep coming back in your lot. And eventually you're going to be them that's going to be beamed up in the church, them that are going to be the first ones, the first crop to make it on the first go around. Okay? To fear the Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. And it was created with the faithful in the womb. It's wisdom. It just makes sense. All right? This is true wisdom to fear Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? It's logical. What else is you going to be concerned and fear? People fear the wrong thing. Believing in statues and whatnot, believing in this world, and all of that could be found a thing of naught. So fear Yahweh Shema Shai. Right? So that's good there. Let's see what your brothers got. Salaki, bear me 1 second. From Saints of Jersey, it says, so likewise, you, when you shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say we are unprofitable, beautiful. All right, because like I was saying, this is our reasonable service. This is something that we're supposed to be doing, right? Keep the whole commandments, for just the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. So when we come to this knowledge, this is what an Israelite will be doing. And not just an Israelite, but an elect member. Being on fire until the very end. Not wavering, not folding. So likewise you, when you shall have done all of those things which are commanded you, say we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. All right, because this is our duty. Being created, not just being Israelites, but being men, having this understanding, this is just logical. Once again, I'm keep saying it. We go to the word reasonable. It actually means logical. It just makes sense. What else will you be doing? Because the thing about this world is, it's passing away. Everything about it is dying. All right? Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and waves roaring. All right, because ultimately what's going on? All hell's breaking loose. Okay, so let me grab that because it's beautiful. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna start from the top on that. I'm gonna grab that from the top. Like I was saying, a lot of people are gonna run around, as they say in the world, like a chicken with its head cut off, not knowing where to turn, not knowing where to go. So I'm gonna start from the top on that one. Luke 21. And let's start verse 20. Now in context, Luke 21 and verse 20, that actually goes into 70 AD that literally happened. All right, but that can't be applied now. So the times that we are coming into, Jacob trouble, is going to be like 70 AD 2.0. All right, it's going to be even worse. So this is Luke 21 and 20. This already lettering. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Right? And the same thing gonna apply right here and right now. Now, like I'm saying, this is literally saying 70 AD, but it's gonna happen all over again. Right? Because the Most High, we understand that there's nothing new under the sun. And Jerusalem is a people before it is a place. It should be with 2 Maccabees 5. And we shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. It's not a hard thing to see if you are a seer, right? Just seeing certain examples. What's going on in Minnesota last year? What happened in Chicago, right? In a few places, they even came down here to the Carolinas, for for like a month, if not, probably a couple of weeks. But so, it's happening, it's brewing, it's boiling. Then let them which are in the Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Everything that's written in this book, all the judgment that the Most High has been promising is going to happen. Right? To them that was scoffing and mocking, you actually got to face that, man. And that's a scary thing, to fall into the hands of the living God, into the living power, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai. So, so like I was saying, Donald Trump, one of his little minions said that what? F-A-F-O. You want to fuck around and you're going to find out that the Most High not be played with. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive to all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentile be fulfilled. And that's what's going on right now. Right? Not only is we actually being trodden down, being beat, to the point, that Jay is comfortable with being a slave. Jeremiah 2 and verse 14. But also our land as well is being trodden down by those gutter rats, by those small hats, big nose and shit. All right, so, so we are in the time of the Gentiles ruling, and not just Esau, Edom, right? Because a lot of people like to say Esau, Esau, these little peons ain't really running nothing. Just down the street had a little Edomite down there begging for a penny. It's really talking about, first and foremost, the head of the Edomites, Amalek, which is the grandson of Esau. Numbers 24:17 on down. Right? Because Amalek is really the one that is really pushing everything. They own everything. Make no mistake about it. You can't make this up. I was just talking, hey, I didn't even see her. Hey, oh shit. Oh man. That's yo, I was just talking about the Edomite. The Most High just brought her up out of nowhere. Salakia. Hey, shalom to the sis, Athena Padre, shalom sis. Hey, rock a thumb to you and your household. You can't make this up. Verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, the distress of nations, with perplexity in the seas and waves roaring. All right, so when we see signs like, for example, the blood moon, and we see signs of, different things going into the, outer space or whatever, that's showing that the Most High is getting ready, to come, right? Because a lot of these, the moon represents what feasts and so not, and so on. So the Most High use these signs in the heavens to show you what time that we are entering into. Now we're into the time of what? War, if you will. All right, let's get on there. Grab this here. Bear me 1 second. 1 second. Yep, second Hedges 2 and verse 27 from the brother Yahweh. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble in heaven is coming, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. All right, so as it says in the book of Job chapter 5, you know, we ultimately gonna be rejoicing, man. Lord's will, you know, you gotta have that mindset that, yo, that I put up a good fight. You know, I laid it all out there on the line. Especially when you come into this thing and you gave up certain things that you was into. You gave up a great, you committed a great sacrifice for Yahweh Shemal Shai, right? Because in this faith, real quick, you're gonna lose a lot, but it's all good because we gotta have the mindset of like Job, right? That the blessings, they're gonna be what? Double. So I'm reading this again. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble in heaven is coming, meaning what? Jacob trouble. Jeremiah 31 and verse 7. Others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Right? Being what? Being blessed double. Same way like Job. Job catches his hell. Hell goes to what? A condition. So when we read these scriptures real quick, we got to ultimately see it. We got to have that vision that, yo, like this could really apply to me. If I keep that faith, 144, call out Yahweh Shemal Shai, that this really applies to me if I keep the faith. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the outer one Yahweh. All right, I gotta back that up. Bear with me. Oh, that's heavy. This should be Psalms. Bear me 1 second. I gotta grab it. Woo! All right, I'm reading from the top again. I'm reading one more time. Second Hedges 2 and 28. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the outer one Yahweh. Why is that? Because we trusted it in Yahweh Shemal Shai. Now watch this. This is an oldie, but it's a goodie. You know, you hear this a lot. But Psalms 91, I'm sorry, verse 1, I got to. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. So dwell in the secret place of the Most High, their truth, although it's everywhere, right? You can go on any social media platform and see the truth. But a lot of people still can't hear it. They cannot see it. Okay, as it says, Amos 3 verse 7, surely the Most High would do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto the servants of prophets. So it's a secret to everybody else, right? It's plain to the righteous, stumble to the wicked. Verse 2, I will say of the Yahweh, all caps, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, and him will I trust. That's who we're going to trust, right? This is what keeps us safe. Trusting in the names of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 18 and verse 10. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. All right, the pestilence go to what? Different diseases. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings. And the ultimate feathers and wings, this is all parabolic talk. It's going to be what? Beamed up in those chariots. Right? So you literally, real quick, you literally going to have missiles hitting and brothers and sisters, you know, being beamed up simultaneously. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Right? Having this truth, having this understanding. As you hear, quote, quite often, Isaiah 33 verse 6, wisdom and knowledge will be stability of thy times. And you truly got to believe that. You truly got to believe that the things that we are taught, you know, that we were taught, that we should continue in it. Why? Because this has been found faithful. All right? That, you know, having the names, right? Having the correct doctrine, which is the understanding. You truly got to believe that this is what will keep you sane, will keep you sober. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid. Here's the point. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Now, no arrows can go into what? Those missiles, right? Because like I was saying, you can look at our brothers being beamed up and missiles hitting. As it said, the righteous is scarcely going to make it. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasted it at noonday. Here's the point. All right, because this is what made me think of this. The brother put Yahweh. He put 2 Hedges 2:28. The heathen shall only envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the outer one Yahweh. Right? So check this out. 1,000 shall fall at thy side. Psalms 91 verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Gotta read it NLT. Though 1,000 fall at your side, though 10,000 are dying around you, these evils will not touch you. Will not touch who? The elect. As it says, touch not my elect. Right? So it's not going to come upon, the house of David. All right? The Habayah Dawadah, the beloved. For you made your body a living sacrifice. Now, you are going to have brothers that are going to be martyrs, but they're going to be what? The first one being up on the chariots. Read 1 Thessalonians 4. So it's beautiful. So it's good there with the water. Yep, from Saints of Jersey, 2 Hedges 9:13. That's the spirit, yep. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, all right, for, none of us know the day nor the hour, not even the son Yahweh Shai, right? But we understand that we got to be close. We got to be very, very close to all hell literally breaking loose, to the Most High just unleashing the floodgates, if you will, right? And when I say floodgates, allowing for Esau, Edom to really, crank it up, for him to attack each other, which is, happening a little bit here and there, right? For these little YNs go out there on the streets and do whatever they do, And it says, in Amos chapter 5, you're gonna run from a bear and a lion's gonna meet you, so on and so on. So that can be a time of the Most High literally unleashing all out chaos, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing. 2 Hedges 9:13, and therefore be thou not curious how the godly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. All right, it's created for who? The Israelites, starting off with the elect first. Okay? The elect, the gold. Them that have been refined. Right? The 1/3 head of 1/3 is the 144,000. Because they're going to be what? Joint heirs. Why is that? Because they followed the Lamb wheresoever he went. Right? So the elect will be getting the first dibs right along with Yahweh Shai. Big brother. Hey, that was spirit. Hey, he did 2 honks right there. Come on now. Honk confirmation. Yep. Honk confirmation. Our duty. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, shalom to the Brekah Bashanah. Shalom Malak. Hey, Brekah Thumb to you and your household. Shalom. Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. And the sea represents what? People. All right? Revelation 17 and verse 5. Look at Esau, man. Therefore rejoice, you heavens. Gone, bro. Shit. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. This devil goes to what? The deceiver. Okay, and him coming down with great wrath is coming, is those draconian laws, or those Draco, laws. In ancient times, you actually had a man named Draco. His name was how you say it? Man, I can't. And it comes to right now, but he ultimately, we're pushing grievous laws. Matter of fact, I'm see if I can find that history. All right, let me see if I can find it real quick. Just gonna go online with what I'm saying. All right, so here's a guy right here. You know, he's an Edomite. He's a legislator. Okay, so in ancient time, you literally had. So you know, so that's him coming down with great laws. All right, that, you know, that's some good history to go into. So when you hear about the draconian law, that, you know, that was actually a man that was pushing that. You know, Draco, right, or Draco, however you want to say it, it don't really matter. But the same thing going to apply now. Esau Edom come down like a dragon, being what? Being more oppressive. Why? Because now it's time for the Most High to work, as it says in Psalm 119 and 126. Right? Mark 16 and verse 20. Remember, which is Zah, and they went forth and preached it everywhere, the word working with them and confirming the word with signs following Amon. And right, and they was literally showing signs. You know, they was doing miracles, they was healing the disciples that became apostles. And the same thing's going to apply now. Okay, as it says real quick, let me grab this. Because right now, just by us being on the highway and the hedges, discreet teaching, that's a great sign. But how much more when we receive those powers? See if I can find that. Shit, Salakia. Give me 1 second. Yep, here it is. It says, let me read this from the top. Line it up. Mark 16, verse 20. And they went forth and preached it everywhere. Same thing applied right now, right? You got brothers all around the world. Brothers across the pond. You got, you know, brothers in Australia, which at the tail end. You got brothers east, west, north, and south. Right, you know, right here in the States, in Babylon the Great, preaching night and day, lifting up their voice like a trumpet, warning, reproving, rebuking. So those are, you know, so that would be what a sign. But how much more so when the Most High gives us those powers? You know, because you may hear brothers quote. You may hear brothers quote quite often. You know, the movie Hancock with Will Smith. Same thing gonna apply, or the movie Brightburn. You know, I watched that. Yeah, I watched that a couple weeks ago. Psalms 110 verse 3. Thy people. Yep, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power and the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. All right, because why? Everything gonna be what? Renewed. Okay, being in what? In the days of your youth. But when all hell breaks loose, the Most High literally gonna give, you know, those elect men those powers, right? Because think about all the madness and the oppressive things that Esau Edom is getting ready to bring forth. Those you know, draconian laws. When you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed like each day, like the morning dew. All right. Grabs from the brother. Kabashana, John said, no, it's like Job 5 and 19. Yep. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, 7, there shall no evil touch thee. Verse 7 goes to what? Completion. In famine, he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. All right, we understand that the destruction of the tongue, once again, is Esau Edom coming down on you, right? Those draconian laws coming down in that great wrath. Verse 12 and verse 12. Thou shalt be afraid. Thou shalt be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth. But like I was saying, we go to the book of Amos chapter 5 and verse, I may grab it, but pretty much you're gonna have them that running from a bear, like a lion met them or a serpent bit them. Okay? There's gonna be no escape for 2/3 of our own people and for the wicked. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Right? And why is that? Because Most High is going to allow for us to cash out. That's them that pretty much did what? Matthew 6:19. put their spiritual money in the heavens. And that cashing out is when ultimately we get saved. All right? It's like it's kind of chilly out here. So let me grab this. All right, this brings us to mind. Grab a few more. All right, just bring this to mind right here, man. Remember one. Driving on the sidewalk's ridiculous. Bear me one second. Yep. Let's start verse 12. Read from the top. This is Job 5:22. Destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So like I've been quoting and like I've been saying, you know, for the past lesson, we have a lot of people that are gonna run around like a chicken with their head cut off, right? So check this out, Isaiah 65 in verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall bow to the slaughter. All right, and the Most High gonna number them to the sword. Why is that? He gave an example. That should be, was it Luke 19 and 27? Yep, Luke 19 and verse 27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. All right. So them that are pretty much in this time rejected the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. What is going on? Anyway, you know, they were mocking, all right, you know, Yahweh Shem Al Shai. They refused to hear the men of the Lord. Right? 'Cause a lot of people think that when we out here on the highway and the hedges, we out here on our own volition, or we out here just sprouting out whatever. Now, we are actually preaching, you know, the book. This is a living book. This, you know, this is literally the word of the Heavenly Father, the word which was made flesh. You know, Yahweh Shai. So read this again. But those my enemies, which were not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. And real quick, why is that? Because now it's time for D.O. Lord to work. Psalm 119, 126. The Most High is going to close up the door of mercy, right? Because right now it's mercy out here. You still got time to, you know, learn. You still got time to learn the true names of Heavenly Father and the Son, and right and try to get your house in order, as I was reading earlier. Okay, but them that are still in the you know, stead of mocking or scoffing, want to call on JC. Right, you're gonna be found in that could be numbered to the, you know, numbered to the sword. And we understand that that ultimate sword is gonna come by the way of the third nuclear missiles. But right before that, you're gonna have Jacob trouble. So back to the book of Isaiah 65, verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. You shall all bow down to the slaughter. Right? You're gonna be destroyed. Like I've been quoting Amos 5, I'm at the grab because, you know, it's a spirit. But you're not going to be able to escape that judgment. Give me 1 second. Should have brought some gloves or something. Should be Amos 5. It's lucky. Where's that at? Man, is it Amos 5? Salaki, bear me 1 second, Salaki. My brain went, a lot of precepts going in my head. Bear me 1 second. I want to hit the straight. Yep, that's it. Let's grab it here. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, in verse, let me start just a tad bit. Hit that point. So starts a tad bit. Let's start verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Yahweh, meaning what, an evil time. All right, woe go to what, destruction. So this is an evil time that the Most High is about to allow to come. Okay, everything got a season and a time. Woe to you that desire the day of the Yahweh. And why woe to them? Because a lot of these Christians love to say, yo, they wait for the Lord, they wait for JC, but you have no understanding of what's about to, take place. You don't know the Most High, right? You don't understand how the Most High really get out. That, that the Most High does bring judgment. Woe to you that desire the day of the Yahweh. To what end is it for you? That's a question that's being asked. Hey, how's it going, brother? All right. To what end is it for you? That's a Jake. That's that Jake. He's from it's cool, Jake. He's Jake from Brownsville. He's from Brownsville, Brooklyn. To what end is it for you? The day of the Yahweh is darkness and not light. Right? So that's what's coming. A day of gloom, a day of darkness. Think about the worst horror movie you could think about. Right? Jason or Freddy Krueger or that TV show they brought out about 2 years ago, maybe 3, Jeffrey Dahmer. And a lot of people were saying about how they were having nightmares watching that show. Well, think about it when the Most High unleashed everything, right? When he unleashed things that you had never even thought about. Come on, man. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Meaning what? There's no escape from that judgment. There's no way you're going to be able to talk your way out of that. Jake is a smooth talker. Michael Jackson got a song said, I'm a smooth criminal. Well, it's true because, Jake got some flavor. But there's no way you're going to be able to smooth criminal your ass about that judgment that the Most High is getting ready to bring. There's no way. And the Most High got you marked and got that laser beam on you, you done. You finished. You didn't use this time wisely, right? As it says, redeem the time. It's Ephesians 5:16. For the days are evil. Redeem the time meaning what? Making the most of this opportunity, right? Shall not the day of the Yahweh be darkness and not light? And even darkness, and even dark, Salakia, and no brightness in it. I'm going to skip down. Verse 24. But it said, but let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Non-stop judgment. Just to sum it up. Non-stop. Non-stop killing. Because a lot of people have really got comfortable with just acting wild. Not having respect. Not having boundaries. So they're going to really find out real quick. I'm going to keep saying it. F-A-F-O, because I do like that. Fuck around and find out. So now you about to so now you really about to find out of how the Most High get out. All right, so that's good. Derek, go back to the book of Isaiah 65. It said, therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spoke, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. And what's that that you didn't hear? Who didn't you hear? Right? I gave the example in the book of Luke 19:27. We say, bring them here and slaughter them. All right? Because they didn't want to have Yahweh reign over them. Lucy paraphrasing. But ultimately, that boils down to what? You didn't want to hear the men of the Lord on the highway and hedges. Once again, you thought, it was funny. You thought it was a game. You couldn't believe or see this kingdom being destroyed. And it's all good because somebody got to play that part, right? Of being a 2/3 and also being them that are missile food. Somebody got to play that part. So check this out. I'll read this from the ladder. It says, when I called, you did not answer, but did evil before mine eyes. So how did the Most High call? This is Second Chronicles 15, 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 15. And the Yahweh power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up big times and sending because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. That's that mercy. That's that grace period. you know, what's going on right now. Right now, we are in that grace period, right? This is time for you to actually learn the true names of Heavenly Father and the Son to get the correct understanding, okay? The same thing, you know, and the Most High always sent the prophets to warn you right before he brought judgment. Okay, everything the Most High do is righteousness. Okay, so you got to be warned and know why, you know, judgment is about to happen to you. So what do? He brings a prophet. Right? Same thing with Adam and Eve. He said that they heard the voice of the Lord in the cool of the day. That was a man of the Lord right there. The prophets had always been here, you know, since the beginning of time. Luke 1, should be 68. It said, but they mocked the messengers of Outer One Yahweh and despised his words. And that word represents Yahweh Shai. All right? That's what that word represents. Yahweh Shai is that literal word. So if you reject this message, the word, Yahweh Shai come in the volume of the book, then you refuse to have Yahweh Shai reign over you. You enjoying the ways of Babylon the Great. John 1:14, real quick. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, which is Yahweh Shai, full of grace and truth. So the word was what made flesh, and a lot of people rejected the word. So that's why, you know, Yahweh Shai said, what, bring them hither and slay before me, because you despise them, right? A little bit more. But they mocked the messengers of Outer One Yahweh, and messenger can be interchangeable with angel as well. And despise his words, so you despise Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh, Hebrews 10:7, Psalms 40:7 come in the volume of the book. And misuse his prophets unto the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people, to there was no remedy, right? So there can be no hope for you, as I just read in Amos 5:19 on down. So the only thing that the Most High gonna do for you is give you what, that mercy killing, just take you out your misery, you know? Like the old saying goes, when a horse breaks his leg, go ahead and shoot it, go ahead and kill it, take it out of its misery. So a lot of our people, they gotta be taken out of their misery, man. They got to go. All right? Jake got to go, man. There's no other way around it. So a little bit more. Isaiah 65 and verse 13. And it says, therefore thus said the Yahweh, Outer One Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. And that going back to Job 5, 20 and on down, right? Where it says in famine, but ultimately the servants of the Lord going to be what? Laughing, right? It said destruction and famine, Job 5:22, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Because it says, therefore thus said the Yahweh, Most High, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. All right? Why? Because once again, we already did a great sacrifice. We put off everything. We put off trying to make ourselves some great reputation. Right? We pretty much did the things that was Yahweh Shai. What is this, man? That the Heavenly Father, asks for. As I've been saying throughout this camp, our reasonable service. We made our body a living sacrifice, so now it's time for us to cash out. All right? It's time for that payment. And I don't want to be that payment or that crown of salvation, James 1:12, right? That crown of salvation. And actually a little crown as well. Hey, shalom to the big bro Ariel, shalom, malak, thumb to you and your household, shalom, shalom. He said, therefore thus said Yahweh Most High, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. So a great shame is going to happen to these people. They're not going to be able to believe what's going on. They're going to be like, yo, it did, like, is this the man? Right? We laughed at him. We thought that he was crazy. We thought he was bugged out. So you really telling me that he's a servant? Absolutely. Right? They had, they couldn't even envision or see that the Most High, Yahweh Shai in a multitude of angels, coming back on a vehicle. Right? What they call UFOs or UAPs. So let me grab this and this be the last one. Make this quick point. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. As I just read in the book of 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 16. You misuse the prophets, right? You misuse the prophets. But now we're going to stand in what? In great boldness. You're going to be starving. You're going to be hungry, running for your life. But we're going to be what? Bold and rejoicing in that day, flourishing. When they sin, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. When they sin, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked it for. They're going to be what? Afraid. Because these chariots that's getting ready to come, right? And there'll be a lot of chariot sightings, especially they was mentioning about in Jersey, a couple months ago, in many more places. But they had no idea that those chariots was actually the vehicles to take the elect of Israel out of here, and also to to shoot that fire. When they sin, they shall be amazed. They shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Like I was saying, they mocked you, they ridiculed you, all right? But now they are in what? Bad shape. Now they are what? Hurting. The Most High is allowing for the floodgates to open up on them, right? That heavy judgment, as it says in Amos 5:24. We fools are counted his life madness and his end to be without honor, right? Because to the real quick, to the world, if they don't see you with some great following, if they don't see you looking all fancy, or you don't got a big bank account, then to the world you look wild. Okay? But as it says, we made ourselves fool for Mashiach's sake. Why? Because so it's ridiculous. So we fool the kind of life madness and his end to be without honor. Because they could not have believed or having seen you being what? Redeemed. They never would have thought that you would have been a man of the Lord. All they could picture is what? Some type of Christianity. Right? That's all that they can see. How is he numbered among the children of Adonai Yahweh, and his lot among the saints? Saint goes to what? Israel. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and in the light of righteousness have not shone unto us. The Most High didn't give you the truth. And the Son of Righteousness rose not upon us. So what? So you was always in the way of darkness. And the Most High allowed for you to be in that position. Like I was saying, someone got to play the part of a 2/3. Someone got to be, merciful. Right? A little bit more. We wear ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Adonai Yahweh, we have not known it. In the way of deserts, meaning what? For example, it's dry. Right? You wasn't dealing with the fountain of living waters, John 7:38. Right? The Most High was not working with you. Okay? You was enjoying the ways of Babylon the Great. Right? You trusted in the image of the beast, verse 13, 15, and 16. Right? You took the charagma. Okay? Which is that chip. To give some examples, what have pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? Nothing. Right? Because this riches, so-called riches of this world is nothing but paper money. Right? It's a thing of naught. It's gonna fade away. 1 Corinthians 7:31, right? The facts of this world is gonna fade away, man. Because this money right now is fake. It's nothing but it's fiat money. It's not backed by anything. Money in America, real quick, has not been backed since 1971. By gold and silver. All things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted it by. Right? Because this place only had a little season. Okay? Should read this one more time, then I'm grab this one and that'll be it. All things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted it by. Let me grab this. That'll be pretty much it. Right? Because this world is hastening, to pass away. So with everybody mocking you, laughing, looking at it like it's a game, it's all good. Hey, it's not our fault that you didn't have that vision, that you couldn't see the salvation, that you couldn't picture this kingdom, America, being destroyed by nuclear missiles. So check this out. 2 Hedges 4, last one. This will be pretty much it. So 2 Hedges 4:26. It said, then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasted it fast to pass away. And that world there is not actually meaning the earth or the planet, right? Because the earth is always going to abide, as it says in Ecclesiastes 1, should be 4. But it's talking about what? Eon or ion, a world, an age, and a season. And right now, we are in a season of Esau, Edom ruling. All right, primarily Amalek, Numbers 24:17 on down. All right, that's primarily who's at the forefront of running everything, not just Esau, Edom. So it says, then answered he me and said, because this is Ezra having a conversation with the angel Uriel, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasted it fast to pass away. All right, so that's what we're looking for. And we haste as well. We haste the coming of the Heavenly Father and His Son. For the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, to unleash Yahweh Shai. So, like I've been saying, throughout this lesson, fight the good fight of faith. Right? Be confident. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab that. So we want to be confident in the ministry. Right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it clear. I don't want to misquote it. See if I can find that, man. What's that? Man, where's that at? What's that? Give me 1 second. Where's that at? That should be where's that at? Slovakia. Man, where's that at? Slovakia. One of you. So like I'm trying to find it. If I can't find it, it's all good. Yep. Hey, Dawadi, how about Shemal Shad? Yeah, this is Philippians. Woo. Go straight to the point. Philippians 1 and verse 6. Dawadi, how about Shemal Shad? It said, being confident of this very thing, that he which had begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right. So so what's that? Hey, Tawada, it was Philippians 1 and 6. I was thinking I'll think Corinthians. But I'm reading this again. NLT, I am certain that Adonai Yahweh, who began the good work within you, will continue his work until it is finally finished on the day when Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, returns. All right, so we want to make sure that we are continuing in the things that we have learned. All right, we don't want to just be doing the work for a little time and then fall out. Okay, we want to endure until the end. And then, you know, as it says, and then we shall be saved, loosely paraphrasing. So let me grab this from the brothers. Hebrews 6 and verse 10 from the book of Bashanah. For Adonai Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, beautiful, Tawada, which you have showed toward his name, and that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. All right, because we are like to what, being like a servant. We out here to feed you, right? As I grabbed earlier, you know, feed you the word, right? To give you that understanding, to give you that health. All right, this is the true, you know, healthy diet, if you will. The Most High word is like to what? Honey. Proverbs 16:24, right? As I was reading earlier. For Adonai Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. All right, so you got to love being a servant. You got to love doing the, you know, you got to love, you know, the grunt work that everybody else is, you know, cannot see or they cannot come into. You got to love just being out here in season and out of season. Okay, you got to have the mindset that, yo, man, eventually this is gonna pay off, and that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. And we are prisoners of hope, Zechariah 9:12. Right? Hoping that, you know, that ultimately that, you know, that we be found worthy to receive the crown of salvation. That you be not slothful, meaning what? Don't be lazy, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. It said that you be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. All right, and we got plenty of examples. As it says, Apostle Paul said, what? Be followers of me, even as I am of Yahweh Shai. Okay, and we got plenty of examples, you know, with the elders, right, been in the ministry for about 40, 30 something years, right, and we enter into their labors, you know, so on and so on. So those are great examples that we have. Men that have been laboring 20, 30, 40 years, right? So those are great examples that we can always look to and just enjoy and love doing the grunt work, right? It may get ugly sometimes, but ultimately you got to have that mindset of, yo, I still got hope in Yahweh Shema Shai. So with that, I'm in it there. To watch all you Akim for added to the dropping precept added to the edification. The water, I'm gonna face the east. I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rahah, Hudash. On this beat to the elders of the nation of Israel to do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hope for elect on the highway and hedges, making your body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12 and verse 1. Shalom to sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, Abba Ball. All right. And Tawab Layallah. Tawab to all you Akim. All right. Shalom to you sisters as well. Athena Paz Drill and his sister Rebecca Ophir. Shalom. Shalom to big bro Ario. Shalom to the brother Kabashana. Shalom to Wab Layallah. Shalom.